Welcome to Live with Amanda. I'm Amanda Patterson, and I'm here today to talk to you about how to plan for unexpected absences or sick days in your private practice. It is officially winter in South Florida. For those of you who follow me all the time, you'll know I'm in South Florida. It doesn't really get cold here, but it's cold these past couple of days, so I'm still bundled up. It's colder in my office, I think, than it's ever been. We've only been here since May, and so I wasn't expecting this. I'm just going to stay bundled up all day. And it got me thinking about people who have snow days and people who have sick days, right? This is a very common time when people start to get sick. People get cold, people get the flu, they feel under the weather. And our clients will cancel on us and say they're sick. But what about when we're sick? Or what about when, now in Florida, we don't get this. We get hurricane days. Those of you who are from Florida know all about hurricane days. But what about those snow days, and what about those other days where you have to cancel your clients? So let's talk about how you can go ahead and plan for that and what to do. So there are some things that you can do in order to plan for sick days. One thing is to have maybe a separate account where you stash some money away, kind of like just the same kind of concept. Every pay period, when you work for a company, you get X amount of sick time, you get X amount of vacation time. So during every pay period or every month, you can put aside money to account for any sick days or any holidays or any vacation time that you may have over that period of time. So let's say you account for 5 sick days a year. So if you were to break that down per pay period or per month, I'm not going to do the math for you. I'm like thinking in my head, I'm like, what would that look like? But just make sure that you're putting away over the course of a year 5 days of your pay or what you would bring into the practice. Same thing goes for vacation time. If you want to take off 2 weeks of vacation time, you can save up that 2 weeks of vacation time. Now, one thing that I do that might be controversial to some people or maybe not what they want to do is that there are times when I'll overstuff my schedule or see more people than I generally see in anticipation for times when it's going to either be slower, I'm going to be taking vacations, or you can't really plan for sicknesses, but knowing that there are going to be days that I am not feeling well. And so I would say during times like March, April, and May, I really see a lot of clients. I stock up my schedule because in June and July, a lot of people go on vacation and that might be a slower period of time. Same thing for August, September, October. I'll see a lot of clients really get my schedule up and running. And then for November and December, I'm anticipating that people are going to be calling out, that there's going to be vacations. And so you can also fluctuate your schedule like that. I think it's really important that when we're in private practice that we plan for these things, that we don't just say, oh, I'm going to take a day off and now I'm going to lose out on that income, because that's not going to feel good to you. And what that's going to force you to do is to go into work when you don't feel like it. Now, to be perfectly transparent and clear, yes, there are times when I and the people at my office and people that I know that go into the office when they don't feel well because they don't want to lose out on that income, or they just have high-risk clients that they need to see. I usually use a little grading system, like I'm sick, but I could still go and see people, or I don't feel well, I could see people, not contagious, or no, I really need to take off the day. If I've got a little sniffles or I'm at the back end of an illness, I might go into work. But I think it's also important to know the clients that you're working with, because if you're working with people who have chronic illness or any kind of health issues, you may not want to go into work, especially if your clients are susceptible to getting sick. Even if you have a little sniffle, you may want to cancel those clients. Or the old offer telehealth sessions. That's something that is really popular to do. I know I had some health issues over the summer, and I had to take about a week off of work. And I was well enough to do therapy, but I wasn't really well enough to drive to the office. So I offered, online sessions to the clients that were willing to do that. And that was really, really successful. It was really helpful. So that's also for those of you who are in areas where it's snowy. That's something that I see that's really popular, is to offer telehealth sessions, so that one, your clients are seeing you, and two, you're not losing that income, you're actually working, but that you don't have to drive anywhere. So I think that's what I would do. I would bundle up in my blanket, turn my heater on, and I would be like, let's get going with these, online therapy sessions. And the clients really seem to like that too, because sometimes we have high-risk clients, or we have clients who just need that extra support. And if we're feeling, well enough, or the circumstances are good enough for us to continue to do that, then I would encourage you to do so. Just want to take a moment to thank our sponsor, TherapyNotes. They're located in Pennsylvania. If you haven't heard about their office, it is amazing. And I'm just thinking about them up there, probably freezing. It's probably really cold up there right now. But if you haven't checked out TherapyNotes, you definitely want to check them out. They're a great electronic health record that gives you all the resources that you need to run a successful private practice, both at the individual and group level. You can bill right from there. You can do your notes. You can take credit card payment. It even reminds you when you haven't seen a client in a while that maybe you need to send them a letter to let them know you're going to close out the file or write a termination letter. So I highly recommend that you check out TherapyNotes. So let's go back to taking days off of work. So a lot of the times that guilt hits us. My guilt hits me right here, and I'm like, oh, I can't take off of work. I need to see so-and-so. And so we'll probably need to work through some of that, because I don't really want to see my clients when they're sick. When people come in and they're like, I'm sick, I'm like, ooh, you got to go, right? And so we want to model for our clients sort of appropriate self-care. And so if we're coming in and we're really sick and we're sneezing and we're coughing and we need to go to urgent care and we haven't gone yet, are we really modeling good self-care? No. And so you want to be able to make sure that you're modeling that both for yourself and for your clients, and that you're really taking care of yourself. If there's a question in your mind of like, should I go into work? Maybe you can check in with a colleague. If you're a solo practitioner, maybe you designate like a private practice best friend that you can call and say, this is how sick I'm feeling. What are your thoughts? What are your recommendations? So that you don't have to feel so alone in this process, especially for those of you who are in solo practices. When I was in a solo practice, I didn't always have somebody to turn to make decisions. So having a BFF in private practice can really make a difference when you're making those decisions. So I will leave you with saying, take care of yourselves. We need to take care of ourselves so we can be there for our clients. And one way that we do that is by taking off days and planning for those days and not living in lack around taking care of ourselves. So I hope you all stay warm this winter, that if you do get snowed in, that you do some online therapy sessions if that's within your purview, and that everybody stays nice and healthy. I'll see you here every Tuesday and Thursday at 3 o'clock with Alive with Amanda. Thanks, everybody.